Welcome everyone. I hope everyone is having a fantastic day. Welcome everyone. I hope everyone is having a fantastic day. Today we are talking about how buyers are getting homes without a bank in 2025. If you've ever tried to get a mortgage, you know that you have to get your credit score checked. You have to make a certain amount of money. It's a lot of stuff, even when you're renting. They're going to check your criminal history, turn you down if you got something on it. They're going to check for evictions. Even if a landlord was a shady landlord and didn't fix things and had mold and mildew in the house and you wanted it fixed and they wouldn't fix it, they put you out, they evicted you, that's on your record. And guess what? Nobody else will rent to you. But today, guys, we're going to show you how to be your own bank, how to not need someone to run anything for you, any credit. You're not going to need any of those things. We're going to show you exactly how to do it. In fact, this is my husband and I, BJ. I'm going to introduce him here shortly. He's going to be the one doing the presentation today. But we were able to purchase a house together, our first investment property together, by using this strategy called the letter of intent. If you've heard of the letter of, if you have not heard of the letter of intent, put a 2 in the chat. If you have heard of letter of intent, put a 1 in the chat. I want to make sure and see, what level we are and how much we need to be sharing. We don't want to be redundant here. Okay, 2. We have 2 people that have a 2. So that means you haven't heard about it. Okay, so this is perfect. This is going to be awesome. You guys are going to learn something here today. So although Bobby and I call him BJ, you may hear me call him BJ or Bobby. But although we purchased our first house together, our investment property together since we've been together, he's been investing and purchasing and flipping and doing all of those things in real estate for close to 20 years, guys, almost 2 decades. So you are definitely in for a treat, and you're learning from someone who actually not just talk about this, but have actually walked it and walk it as we're speaking. All right. So I want to just share with you this quick video here. This is one of the houses. This is one of the houses. This is the house that that I'm telling you about right now, where we were able to, our very first investment property. You can see, we were working on it ourselves. We went in there and we cleaned it up. We did what we had to do because we were not going to live in the property. We were actually getting it so that we can put other people in the property. And it turned out to be one of our greatest investments, guys. All right. So let me just play this for you. Hopefully you can hear it. If ever I had a video, would you dance in it? Would you dance in it? In it? Oh, sunshine, you are my sunshine. Let it in, let it in. Oh, sunshine, you are my sunshine. Let it in, let it in. They said that you loved me all along. Now I see you dancing with some other man. I wanna see where this goes. I need a light to see home, and I want you to know, sunshine, you are my sunshine. It's another one. I wanna wake up as more than just friends. Sunshine, you are my sunshine. Let it in, let it in. And I wanna feel for you. I wanted you
wanna see you come around so we can begin again.
All right, all right. So again, that was and guess what, guys? That house was only 3 years old when we were able to get that house. All right. So again, this is what you're going to learn about today, how you can do this, whether you are looking to do it for yourself or you are looking to do it because you want an investment property. So, without further ado, guys, I am elated to share with you my wonderful husband, my nerd partner. I call him because is so he's such a genius, like seriously. But you guys, if you haven't met him already, you'll get to see. Um, but yeah, so without further ado, BJ, come on in and share with the people what they are here for.
Right. I like that kind of welcome. Ain't nothing like coming right behind Beyonce. Trying to close after Beyonce, that's a hard job. How y'all doing? Well, it's good to meet y'all. I've been doing real estate since like 2008. And that's when I was using hard money loans, banks, and everything. But then I learned foreclosure because the market crashed, and then I lost houses in that market just as well. But I learned the foreclosure process, as you see on my shirt. We had called ourselves the foreclosure coaches and everything. But then that's when my credit got damaged.
Mhm.
I learned how to get creative. And so it all depends on where the market's swinging. And right now, this is going to be hot for you because the interest rates are a little high and the houses stay on the market longer. So usually when the interest rates get higher, subject to renter owns are a good finance vehicle. The owners are stuck with houses and they have still those lower interest rates, but people don't know how to present their offers to even get to the table with them. But this right here gets you totally out of the renter's mindset. And that's what triggered me to go ahead and say, you know what? It's time to bring this to market because we get calls every day and renters are negotiating rent with us, where we are hired by the property managers to present properties. But I said, you know what? I think if we bring the letter of intent to market, it would help turn a renter into a buyer while they're renting to get to buying. And so that's what this presentation is about. This is the very first step before you even buy that you have to do so that you know where you're at with your finances and what you want to pay.
Absolutely.
So like with this, what I did when I was buying houses with the bank, I mean, I would make this letter right here, what's called a letter of intent. And actually, you go in the bank with it. If you choose to use the bank, this letter is your weapon to not keep letting people pull your credit. This helps you go full throttle because most folks are playing the rules by what they was handed. Get pre-approved, get in line, hope for the best. But that path is slow, it's stacked, and a lot of people it ends in the same gut punch. And what that means is you go in, you got the score, the 620, what you seen online, what they say, but then now your bills or you got a car, it's so many things that can pull that down to where you don't qualify. And you didn't know all of that when you went in, but when you use a letter of intent, you saying, hey, I know I got a car payment. I know how much I got for a down payment. Because when you looking at Zillow and they giving you that estimated rent, that's for people that are putting down 20% and the perfect credit score. So that's what suckers you in to think that you can afford it because you like, oh, that's only 1,800. But that's not including HOA, which is homeowner association. That's not including uh property taxes or just the whole expense that what is your interest rate? It's not at that point yet. You get what I'm saying? So it's a lot of things that you just see on Zillow where I'm gonna help you flip that today. Zillow gonna be your friend because you're gonna learn to use this letter of intent to get information from Zillow to know right away if you want to pay $2,500 a month rent, then you match it up to properties because the owners are looking at Zillow too just as well. So you can't go to somebody and see a house on Zillow for 300,000 and say you want to pay 200 because the owner automatically believes that their house is worth 300,000 from looking at Zillow all day themselves. Um, but these denials that you end up with is not because you're not ready. It's because the system ain't built for you to win if you don't have the information and know how to present your intent out the door is the problem. So
Mhm.
when I bought houses and learned to use this, I used to, get a down payment out of my 401k. So if I wrote this letter of intent, I would let the owner know, hey, I got a deposit, but it's in my 401k, but I need this accepted offer to mail to my 401k to get that deposit. So I let them know I have the deposit, it's not on hand, but it is contingent upon you accepting this as an option. So this is how you pre-qualify yourself. Because I'm saying I got this down payment and I'm going to pay this much a month. And I need 3 years possibly before I can really get a mortgage.
Yeah.
So that's what a letter of intent is. It's saying you know your terms and you're going to find a homeowner that'll accept them.
But we're
Okay.
going to show you how you could do it 3 years, 5 years, 10 years, whatever you believe you need.
Yeah, you just you make the intent based upon what you feel like your ability really is, versus a bank telling you, hey, this is going to expire in 60 days. Okay.
Correct.
All right. So you've been only showed one door, the bank. And so that's why a lot of people just don't even think of buying a house because they say, I had this good credit. I got to go to the bank, drop this 20%. I gotta do everything the bank said. I can't go through this other door over here that don't got nothing rent on it because that's for every homeowner that own the house.
Mm-hmm.
And then the funny thing, submitting to the bank that don't even own a house. So a lot of people is at the mercy of the person that don't even own the house. They're your business partner to give you the money.
Yeah.
To go through the white door to the owner the traditional way.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. They got rigid requirements. Whereas the underwriter is constantly looking at stuff. You got an endless paperwork. Hey, you got to show you paid this off, satisfaction letters. You got to do all of this. Someone else decides if you qualify.
Yeah.
That ain't the way it worked when it's going in the market the way it is right now in your favor. Um, and what you probably haven't heard about is I call it letter of intent. And that's what it is in business purposes. So you want to know the vocabulary. It's hidden options that don't require the bank. So if I said I got $40,000 to put down, so see when you dealing with an owner, you feel like, oh, that's a lot of money to put down. But that's what you're gonna put down when you go to the bank. If you treat the owner of the house like the bank, they're gonna go through the same process of thinking as the underwriter of the bank.
Mm-hmm.
But they don't check your credit because they looking at, oh, if they put skins in the game, whoop, that reduced the risk right there. The owner is more likely to approve you than the bank will. And they can give you the terms that you say, hey, I want 5 years, 10 years.
Mm-hmm.
But see, a lot of them have those interest rates at the 2 point whatever. So you can get a better interest rate from the homeowner if you learn to
Negotiate.
present your letter of intent. My intent is I want to give you 40,000. I want to pay you $2,500 a month, and I need 5 years uh to be able to get a mortgage. You don't give them all of the persuasion. You don't have to do it. You just give them clarity, because clarity trumps persuasion. Just give clarity. And what it is when you start to learn how to fill out your own letter of intent,
Mm-hmm.
you know where you stand, which
Exactly.
gives you confidence. If I know I got $40,000 in my 401k, I can look that owner straight in the eye with confidence and be like, well, yeah, well, I got it, but I need you to sign the agreement for me to send to them for me to get the down payment. In which you handle this like, hey, Monique, I didn't read the comments.
And Joseph said hi too.
Hey, Joseph.
Yeah.
Hey, I appreciate all of y'all coming. I mean, I want us to be family in this because this ain't just something you're gonna get from just this one call and know it. So when we get to the end, you're gonna know how we're gonna grow together as a family.
And we're going to take all your questions, guys, right here at the end.
At the end.
So please make sure you have your questions written down. No question is a crazy question.
Nope.
We're looking forward to answering your questions.
Yeah, but I love real estate because of that. And a lot of my friends, some of them, they in commercial, and they ask, well, BJ, why you never get in commercial? Well, to me, residential always been sweet because if this person say no, just like them doors, I can go next door. But if I'm stuck in a commercial deal, hey, I got too many people to involve with when I could just start over fresh going next door, present my letter again to them. Because if you go into a subdivision that you want to live in, hey, give all of them the letter. You got to get that kind of mentality. So you here today to get totally out of being a renter, having that renter mindset. So what is owner financing? Is a direct agreement. This is an easy deal. I'll see people or answer the phone for people calling us every day. That you got it already. You got it.
Mm-hmm.
But if you feel like saying, hey, what is an email address? I want to rent this house. You don't kill yourself on the phone to saying, I want to owner finance. Hey, you got an email address? I want to send you my information so you might consider me to get this house. You get what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So that's what that letter of intent is to get the connection.
Yeah.
To send the information and let the paper do the talking for you. And then you just ask them when they say, hey, I reviewed it. Of course, working with us, we're going to show you how you start, which is you'll get that information at the end of this webinar. But now I want to pull this up. I want to make sure that people understand what I mean by connection. Like, does connection mean anything to you? Put one in the chat if you believe that learning how to get connection with a homeowner is important. So where can I see the chat? I want to see if that's important before I proceed. All right, Joseph. All right, that's what I'm talking about. That connection. So you guys are getting it. You going with it because that has to be your first mission.
Mm-hmm.
Is to go for connection. Don't go for property. Go for connection. Okay. So now we move on to the next step. Custom terms. So you got the connection, which everybody gave me the one. So now we over here to custom terms. Mm-hmm. Now, with the custom terms, that's me saying, now, remember I was using an example of 40,000 in there. I'm gonna say I got the connection, but I sent my letter of intent and told them I got 20,000. Mm-hmm. I told them I got 20,000 for my down payment, and I wanted to pay 1,800. And I did that for a reason. I did that for room. Absolutely. If he counters, mm-hmm. if he counters, nobody accepts the first number. So you always swing it, and they want to know your number, you want to know theirs. So always take it down like 70%. So I'm saying that, and he like, hey, I like everything that you said, because in some of mine, I got houses from which some of them was true, but it was such a good story. I used it all the time to buy a house. I always told them I wanted to live in the school district. I mean, this is what your intent is when you got to get it. You got to tell your story in there with your numbers so it all work together. So if I say, hey, I want to live in this community, or in this community because I want, my kids to be able to go to this school. In some districts where I had to do this, I did have to live in the district to get them enrolled. So instead of being anchored, like I told him, hey, you're going to high school, man. I don't want to be anchored. You know what I'm saying? So he's going to go be in there for 3-4 years. So if you can give me 45, it'll work for me. And hey, if I want to continue, hey, I'll get the mortgage and close you out and move on. So that's where your custom terms come in. That is saying, I need 4 years because I don't want to get anchored. Mm-hmm. But in this, you got to understand that your deposit is not refundable, just like it's not at the bank. You got to respect this owner as the bank. And from there, everything will be fine. And then this is how you bypass in the bank, because you're respecting that owner up here in custom terms as if they're the bank. Okay. So let's take another little number 2. We're gonna keep progressing. We at number 2. So press number 2 in there if you with me, but just press 1 if I need to
Reiterate
and break it down a little bit more. I got no problem with this because we here to transform. We're not even here to learn. All right, we got some tools. No ones. That's what I'm talking about. Everybody transforming because that's what we here. We ain't here to learn. We here to transform. All right. So okay. So now
Legal protection.
let's get this baby out of there. Legal protection. Now the mistake is to go at this again thinking like a renter. Owner closes with a closing company, attorneys. So when you got that agreement, if it's real owner financing, you want to get an attorney over there to close it, to go over it, check the property, make sure there's no liens on it and everything, because how would you be able to get a mortgage? You have to go at this like you're the owner trying to buy this house. You have to do what buyers do, because otherwise you buy a house where they got second and third and fourth or solar panels on the house. We lost a deal because they had solar panels. They were ready to go with, they accepted our letter of intent,
They
but
had
we
a contract with solar panels. So
yeah,
they had a loan,
and they was in foreclosure.
lien, yeah.
They was in foreclosure, but we couldn't get it because the solar company wouldn't reduce the amount that was owed on the solar panel. So that's why you go at this, because if you putting that down payment down, you better believe you want to be able to say, hey, either I'm going to see if I can get a mortgage, or I might even sell this house. You got the rights to do everything because you got those over here. You got those terms that makes you the owner with control, which is called equitable title. You got equitable title in that property, just like with the bank. You don't buy a house, not even when you use the bank. You paying them. They the landlord that don't even own a house. So you have to look at this like owners profit for the house being worth more than what they owe. So if you got an agreement that locked that price, and you ain't got to worry about your rent going up every month because you said this is what I'm gonna pay for 3 years. Again, it works for you. Okay.
Yeah, compared to but compared to like if you went in and purchased a home, right? Say you went in and purchased a home the traditional way with a mortgage, your mortgage may slightly fluctuate because like how many of you remember, some of you probably were pre-qualified during the pandemic and just couldn't get a house because people were overbid in 50 and 100 grand on a property. It was a crazy market. But how many of you know that during that time the people that purchased those houses, as a matter of fact, somebody contacted us a year later. They needed to sell their house because their mortgage was, let's say, $2,500, which was at the top of their affordability. And so when it went up due to the taxes, yes, they could no longer afford the property. And so you have to think about that just as well when you go out and get a traditional mortgage. I always tell people, make sure you have a little room, because if you're buying in a growing area, then your taxes will probably most likely go up. Your taxes will increase. And so then therefore your mortgage will increase.
Absolutely.
But that wouldn't happen on a finance because you have an agreed upon contract.
Okay.
Right?
All right, now we're gonna do a quiz.
Am I saying that right, baby?
You said that right, honey.
Okay.
You said that right. Now I'm gonna give them a quiz because they said they transformed.
They said yeah.
Didn't they say it?
Yeah, I think they're paying attention too.
I'm about to test them.
Okay.
All right. I want renters to put a 3 and homeowners to put a 4, so I can see how many I have of each in here. Okay, we got a renter. Anybody else?
Miss Williams. No.
3.
No.
All right, everybody failed.
No.
They failed, guys. All right, now I'm gonna have to act like, what was the name of that?
Okay.
That school where you had to.
We're gonna ball this. We're gonna ball that paper up and we're throwing that one in the trash can.
All right, he said, "Oh boy."
Yeah.
See,
there you go.
He get it. It was a trick. Stop thinking that you're a renter.
That's right.
Get out of that.
Yes, you all are getting the blueprint. You don't have to. You're not a renter.
Now, hey, they are friends.
Yes.
We're gonna do a requiz.
Okay. We threw that paper out the window.
We threw that out. It didn't even happen. We didn't do a test.
Give them a new number.
No.
7.
Okay, 7. All right, 7 gonna be the luckiest. For renters, put a 6, and for homeowners, put a 7. All right.
There you go.
Oh, okay. All right. Now we can get all right. We can move on.
And rolling
we
now.
talking to homeowners. All right. Because otherwise, I was like, this ain't for renting. I was about to stop right here. I was about to stop. Like, oh no, they want to still rent, which is okay because you're renting when you use the bank, but let's use and get you some equitable title.
Absolutely.
So that if another surge happens like it did, if I got this house at 100,000 on agreement, I just love using that number.
Yeah, easy math.
Now another pandemic or shift happened where the market just shoot crazy. I got this legal payment because hey, we here. We did that. We did that. I got that 100,000 legally.
Exactly.
Now, but now Zillow said this house worth 250.
Yes.
And I got my agreement
for 100 grand.
A renter that thought he was a owner. And so therefore, that 150 over that 100, that's my money if I sell that house.
Exactly.
So when the houses appreciate, when you got it locked, using this letter of intent and go through the process, that's your equity, just like it is with the bank. Okay. This ain't hard. It's just hard when you.
Does that make sense, y'all?
Do that make sense?
Yeah, we want to make sure we're making sense because that was a good jewel right
there.
That
was a bar?
Oh yeah.
You know I want my bars. You gotta tell me when it's a bar then.
Joseph said yes, that makes sense. Yeah.
Okay, good. Because see, the thing in here, see.
Okay, Monique said say that again.
Back it up.
Tell her how that works again. So if you got a agreement for 100,000.
Okay. Now I got it locked in.
Yes, Miss Williams, exactly. He said we perish because of lack of knowledge.
Okay, now I want you to understand this right here. I'm gonna write it down so you can understand. I'm gonna write it. So this means filed. That's why I'm writing it on a piece of paper. This means, boom, it's filed legally. Now, because it wrote on this paper with, whoa. I forgot the
signature.
It's on paper with a signature and filed.
Correct. Filed.
It has to be filed. So it's filed. Now, this agreement, when we signed it today, the house then went up to 250 after we signed. Right?
Yes.
So I have the right, if I sell it for 250, I get to keep that equitable title because all I have to pay the owner is 100 grand, which I've established that over here in the custom terms.
That's right.
Okay. Plus, remember, over here, this is where we got it all started from where? Let's see who get it. Where did all of this start from? What was number one the most? No, the connection. The connection made the correct contact, connection, all made it happen. We went from connection to custom terms. We bypassed the bank and we made it legal. And if that joker shoot up,
it's all ours.
That's yours. Now everybody passed because we're talking to homeowners, so we're gonna keep moving because I'm talking to homeowners.
Yes.
I ain't got no more renters left. The rent is gone. The rent is gone. So now, homeowners, let's go. Let's do some more transformation.
All right. Good job, y'all.
Good job.
Y'all catch on fast.
And look at here. Look at here. We got the pyramid, and we're gonna start at the bottom, right? There go that word again. Look at that. That is important to get that as your mission.
Yes.
I want connection with the person that own that house. So don't fall in love with the house. Fall in love with trying to get the connection with the seller that own that house. Now, since we're talking to homeowners, let's do a little treat. Because I want them to know, hey, I love that they all turn to homeowners quickly. Now, this is what we usually do when we renters. This is all we're doing. We're like, ooh, But now they didn't came and got into Felicia and Bobby class.
Yeah.
They don't be on there like wooing. They get on there focused, like, let me click this because I don't click this no more. For what? I go over here, I click so. Now, look at all this.
Mm-hmm.
They looking at
Put in
you.
an area that they may be interested in. Let's say Atlanta.
At Atlanta.
There we go.
There we go. Let's get buck. So now, look at all of this madness going on when an untrained eye is on here.
Yeah.
Now, this is the treat for being a homeowner, guy. We're gonna show you how you take this letter of intent and get right to it. Because what you do, what you haven't done is click the more button. You see so? Turn that off. We don't want to see the agents and all that stuff right there. See how that's look at it, just going away.
Take off coming soon.
Oh, we got to take off that coming soon. Thank you, Miss Real Estate Broker. We turn that off.
Scroll down, make sure we don't need to take anything else. Okay.
All right. So now all we have is properties that are listed by the owner.
But this is my favorite part, is coming in here. So what you can do though is come down because it's going to show from earliest to latest. Now, let me ask y'all something. If you were going to go in here and you're looking for someone who may be motivated and who might want to do a deal such as like what we're discussing here, using your letter of intent, uh, who would be most likely to take your offer? Person who's been on the market for 90 days or a person who's been on the market for 5 days? Okay, we got Joseph said 90. Monique says 90.
Okay.
All right. Shakitha says 90. Exactly, y'all.
Sharks.
Exactly. 90 days, because the longer you are on the market, the more flexible you become. You're like, man, I really want to move out of state. I'm trying to move out the country or whatever it is that a person might be trying to do. They want to get rid of this house. So if you come to them after 90 days, they may entertain your offer.
So as once we get to the end, now we're not going to look at the quality of their property or nothing like that, but we showing you the process of how you
go in here and make the connection.
Make the connection and put your numbers and everything together when something does match up to what you want. And see in here, like you see, they telling you get pre-qualified. This is the stuff that throws you off. But let's get to the bottom down here. It gives you some jewels. It gives you some jewels. It's land. Oh, this is land.
Like
so I don't think it'll have those datas on there with the. Because on Zillow, you can get the estimated amount, and on some, you can get the rent. So you want to learn to use these rent numbers because this is what the homeowner is looking at. See, it's not available on there, but it's telling you that this house, like this is crazy right here. So this what helps you because it's saying this house worth 322, but they got it on there for 800,000. So this is how you just say, no,
yeah,
no. But you want to be able to find something that connects with where you trying to do.
And again, those things happen in the early periods. They get to throwing out those ridiculous amounts of money that they want, because every homeowner think that house is worth $1 million.
Absolutely.
If you ever, been in the wholesale or anything like that, every homeowner think that house is worth $1 million.
Right. Now, this the sweet thing about this one right here. So it wouldn't make your offer look crazy, but me, I will offer them that whole 14. Even though I know looking at this is right there.
Okay.
And I would offer them $2,500 a month because I know I'm not going to use the bank. So that little over, I know in 3-4 years, it'll be worth that.
Okay.
So that's why I'm cool with it now.
Right.
Because I want them to be the bank. So that's why I wouldn't feel like I got to be from pressing them for what it's worth. But 800,000 for that, that's ridiculous. But they're asking like $29,000 more than what it is, which is okay. Because I don't want to get a mortgage for 5 years, 6 years anyway. So my offer, which is where you go on Zillow now, you go through the process that we showed. You look for estimated market value. You get a Zestimate, and you get the rent. So I know I want to rent this for $2,500 a month. And look at that. Wow. And this would change when you go to the bank because taxes, all that stuff, it'll go up. It'll be more because you have to pay all these extras. But if I just told the owner straight up, I'm gonna go at them like the bank. So in this, I gotta measure my 401k. It's 40,000. I'm gonna have to put down at least 10 to 15% to get their attention. So I'm gonna say I got 40, 50. I gotta pull out my 401k, or if I got it in liquid savings. But I know the rent. I'm gonna say I want to pay 2,500.
Now, some of you, you may be in a position where you are in the process of saving. Some of you already have,
Mm-hmm.
20, 30, 40, 50 grand saved up and ready,
Yep.
but you possibly don't have the right credit score, or, it's something that's hindering you from being able to move forward with, being able to purchase the traditional way. But tonight, you're learning like, hey, I don't have to have that perfect credit score. And so
But I do.
the people who don't have the 50 grand, right? The people who don't have the 40 grand, the 30 grand saved up to be able to offer these homeowners, those people can take your time. Like, hey, you can go and submit offers and say, hey, I
Yeah,
want I
no.
want to give you 380. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
I want to give you 380 and I want to pay you 1,800 a month. I want to pay
And
you
I
1,900 a
and I
month.
got
Whatever.
20,000.
I got 20,000 down.
If
You know
they
what I'm
all they can
saying?
say is no, but
That's
you
it.
once you make your letter, just that's what it is.
That's what it is.
That's
And
what
don't
it
be
is.
afraid to tell somebody what you want to offer them
Mm-hmm.
on their property,
Yeah, because
especially if it's been on the market for a little while.
correct. So now we're gonna get back where we were, honey. We're gonna get back. So that was the treat for
Does that make sense to
talking
everybody?
to the homeowners. I was talking to them homeowners. Where's okay, let's see right here.
I like to see where everybody at. Yes, Miss Williams says they may be desperate by then. Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah, well, they'll be open to options. Oh, Joseph said make perfect sense. Yes, it does. But see, you gotta value the power of you have if you got nothing, you still got a letter of intent that's letting you know this is where I stand now.
Exactly.
This is what I need to do, and this is how I need to use it. And hey, I'm connected with some hitters that got me to all the way to the end before it even happened. Okay. So all right, we're gonna keep moving on. Clarity lays out your terms, down payment, monthly amount, timeline, in plain language. And then bam, you done presented it. They see, hey, I see where they coming from. My house been on the market for 90 days. But this person is the only one that came and presented it this way because everybody else is waiting on the bank to tell them they can go buy the house. When you said, this is how I can work with you to buy the house today so that you can move on.
Can I answer a unspoken concern?
Absolutely.
So some of you are looking at this right now. And if this is you, I want you to type me in the chat. But somebody is looking at this and saying, hey, if this house right here is worth 450,000, Felicia, BJ, why would they accept my 20 grand when they can sit on the market a little while and get 450? Why would they accept my 20 grand down instead of getting this whole 450 if they stay on the market? I know somebody is saying that. If that's you, say me in the chat. But I'm going to tell you the reason why. I'm going to go ahead and tell you the reason why. So the reason why, guys, that somebody would accept this offer is because guess what? That may be all the equity that they have in the property.
Oh yeah, facts.
Yeah. So if they were gonna sell it on the market and sell it for 450, they ain't gonna get the 450 anyway. They're not gonna get the whole 450.
Yeah.
They're only gonna get 20.
Yeah,
because they gotta owe the
and
bank
what she means is if they owe
430.
430 and you came in with a whole bank loan, and with 450, they only walking away with 30. So they'd be like, well, shoot, I got that 2% interest rate. You talking about paying that 2,500? All I'm paying is 12. Yes, let's do it.
Exactly.
So you got to know when the time is right, but you're not presenting. That's why they're not calling.
Exactly. And let me tell y'all something. You are in the perfect market right now. If y'all tried to do something like this during the pandemic, throw it out the door. It wasn't going to work. It was not going to work. But right now is the perfect time. Why? Because interest rate is high and people aren't buying like they were.
They ain't, no, they not writing over. Cause I mean, in that market, shoot, if they listed the house, we were telling our client, hey, this just came on. Do you want to submit an offer?
But I just wanted to share that with y'all because I knew
That was a
that
good
it's
deal.
some people in the room that were thinking, how would something like that work? So I'm glad I was able to bring
But it's
that.
right on time. And you said it. You said you wanted to share why that works.
Yeah,
Bam. You've been
absolutely.
watching the slides, ain't
I didn't want you. Go ahead.
you? Okay, so why this work? To pick up where my beautiful wife uh, just gave a perfect example. You lay out your offer clearly, no confusion, no guessing. I got this for a down payment, this what I can pay a month, and this how long I need before I have to get a mortgage. Very clear. Avoid overwhelming jargon. Plain language builds instant connection, our word,
Yes.
and trust.
And we're going to show you exactly how to do that.
Yep. Show up with confidence. I know for a fact I got that 401k, even though they tripping on the market right now. But I know I got that 401k. And I'd rather put my equity in this property because I see it appreciating more over here than it is over here.
Absolutely.
So I'm a homeowner and investor, all in Bobby and Felicia Powell. Proud of y'all. All right, let's keep moving. Show up with confidence because you know you got it. Because you wrote down your own, you approved yourself with your letter and said, I put my capability in here, and I know that. You build trust, a direct human conversation guided by a smart agent, us working with you, giving you this information because some agents don't talk to you, work with you, nothing until when? You pre-approved.
Exactly.
The bank approved.
Yep.
See, I know with that information because I was there. I learned everything from the hard way of doing it. Not one real estate agent taught me nothing.
This is nothing new, guys. This has been done. Tell them about that 40-year lease. That
on the Empire State Building, it's 100-year.
100-year lease.
It's 100. So the Empire State in New York is a lease option. Commercial deals, all lease options, because they're using the owner to get control.
Exactly.
Control and leverage legally.
Own nothing,
Control everything. Rockefeller, you better tell it. I love that. I love that woman, y'all.
All right, so we got
That's my head. Okay, so now we here. The new approach. This is in theory, it's a path to real buyer walking it now. Like I said, 50 Cent just even got some kind of deal with, what do you get it, 25, 30 years, what? Something like that. He just did a deal. So maybe you want to check up on that, see what he did. But that is not a bank.
And many people, are confused. They're like, oh my God, he did that crazy deal. But now y'all know why he was actually wise.
Because they was the bank.
Doing that.
He used them, he put them in the position of the bank so that he can profit on top of it. This is how you could just buy your dream house and not think none of it because you got this process in your mind and process now because you are a homeowner now. Home ownership is not out of reach. All right, so now we're gonna go to the blueprint. Now this is when I transfer it back to Miss Felicia here. The transformation of knowing how to do it, because consistent.
Awesome. What do you guys think about that? Okay, we got some comments here. What do you guys think about that? Was that pretty fire? Put some fire in the chat if you feel like that was some fire. If that
I like fire. I like fire.
Okay, and we are going to answer your questions too. Shakita says, when we take over a house that the owner only has a small amount of equity, will we take up the payments with their finance company or bank, like the one you just mentioned? Can we get example letters?
Well, it depends on the deal, because then that's a total owner finance when they deeded the house to you, versus some if they do have equity. Because yes, you can get a house deeded to you, and they make you authorized to communicate with that mortgage company. And the bank, they don't care as long as they receive payment. They don't care who paying. They just want that payment. So yes, that's when they deed the property to you. But again,
it depends on how you go about it. Some owners, they don't want to deed the property over, but some will.
Yeah, but
So,
you transform. You don't want to get advanced right here. This is letter of intent.
right.
This ain't structured deals.
Monique says, never heard of a letter of intent. An agent has never, no, agent's not going to mention that to you.
Mhm.
You know why agent's not going to mention that to you? Because the agent won't make money if they teach you this stuff. And some of them probably don't know, just to be honest. Some probably don't know. But this right here is a way that you could do this by yourself without an agent. We're teaching you how to not need an agent, right, honey?
Well, yeah, and it's because of the squeeze. It's like, you know what? I can help you because we packaged up our information to help you do the deal yourself and reduce all the way down and be like, hey, this now if you choose to want to get assistance doing it,
Yeah.
because it'll save you thousands. And we know people don't have it, you know.
Right.
And so you make it like, well, how can I work with people? And so what we do, I'm gonna give you the process. And I'm gonna give you the process for this amount. Now, if you choose our contact information in there, if you need assistance on the way to go and help you in, quit claim D. She advanced, but that's not for this class. That's not for this one. That's not for this one. Because that's where we fall short, and it eliminate uh the growth, because you know you can't go from seed to harvest, you know what I'm saying? So this right here, we got people that haven't even heard of letter of intent. So that growth to even discuss that is just totally not ready yet for this one.
Yeah, this is our first time having a discussion with anybody about it, like in a setting such as this right here. So we want to kind of take everybody at the pace that they are,
Mhm.
because we want everybody to win. So no matter where you are, we want you to be able to win. We want you to be able to take the information that we're sharing and go out there tomorrow and start putting, sending in your letter of intent.
Yeah.
you know
Now, as you will see
hmm
in the blueprint here, that information for somebody at that level is in there, the steps to take to discuss uh advance. Because our goal is to transform to make sure that everybody knows their role. And so this also helps you understand your role as a buyer.
hmm
The things that you have to do, because sometimes just the pre-approval makes a person leave the bank with just a pre-approval and they just go numb right there and just feel like everything happens, and then now they're getting turned on things they didn't know they had to add in the process. So we saying, I want to give you the whole process for you to know how to even do this yourself, so that you can understand that an agent is a choice if you want the help. We here.
Yeah. Yep. And so some of you probably remember programs like DB Homes and Home Partners of America. Both were, great programs, but they are no longer offering the rent to own. That's another reason
Mhm.
why we did this, is because we have, videos and material out there where people are, interested in, how to be able to do the rent to own situation. And so we figured, hey, why not bring something like this about? But the great thing about this compared to those, now don't get me wrong, I did like those. Those were great programs. But here you get to choose your letter of intent. You get to choose what you want inside of your letter of intent
Mhm.
versus them, having everything written out for you and you just, going with what they have.
Yeah.
So this right here, you're going to be, a lot more flexible, be able to choose exactly, you can choose your own terms. So with Home Partners of America, if you bought the home in a year, this was your price. In 2 years, this was your price. In 3 years, this is your price. But you, as the buyer,
Mhm.
and your letter of intent, you can tell them, hey, I want to have the option to buy this in 5 years, but this is the amount I want to buy it for in 5 years. If I buy it in 4 years, this is the amount. If I buy it in 3 years, but as long as I, buy it within 5 years, this is the amount, and they don't go up. You get what I'm
Mhm.
saying? So that is, yeah. Joseph said, I remember them. So yeah, so that is, the biggest difference. I would say one of the biggest difference that this right here gives you, the flexibility that it gives you versus Home Partners or Divvy.
That's it. So now, how do you maintain transformation? You got to have reference. to go back to so that you can stay consistent with your transformation, because we get bombarded with stuff that changes us on, everything everywhere.
Yeah.
So that's why, like, we still got our books from taking real estate class from South Carolina. I see it over there in your shelf right there. The real estate book. So you sometimes you got to reference stuff, and so
Absolutely.
that's why we made the complete ebook, full owner financing blueprint with step-by-step guidance that have the AI prompt tool in there, because I'm sure everybody in here uses Chat GPT,
Yeah.
right? Now, if anybody don't, put one in the chat.
Just go to chat
Who
dot open AI.
only who don't use it, because you can do it free, you know, because in there now in Chat GPT, yes, everybody uses it, but everybody talks to it different.
Mm-hmm.
So we made the prompt for you to use to put that information, like the number from Zillow, the rent from Zillow, um, your down payment, how long you want it, and then it'll make the letter for you.
Exactly.
It's gonna make the letter for you with you just filling in the brackets.
Right.
And that's important so that it can become a habit
Mm-hmm.
of
Yeah.
that you just move like that. And the sweet thing about it, when you put that prompt in there, if you have a question like was asked, GPT will take you there. It'll keep going. Again, this is to help you be a better buyer.
Yeah. Now, guys, you have Google, you have things like ChatGPT. We are in the artificial
Mhm.
intelligence era of our life, right? And you can go out there and you can Google these things, and you can, go to YouTube University, all these things, I'm sure, and you can get bits and pieces. But if you want the complete ebook, the blueprint that Bobby and I have written, then this is what we are recommending right here. And so you get the full guide on exactly what to do, the step-by-step guide on what to do. You get the letter of intent. You get to generate your letter of intent. So it's catered towards whatever property you
Yep.
are choosing. So you can literally, write 5, 10, 20 of these
Just
in
keep
one day
changing. Yep.
if you want to.
Just keep changing the information in the bracket. But the good thing about it, because I reversed it,
Mm-hmm.
I said, I don't want them to get the book first. I want to take and help it digest 7 days of emails first to prepare you for using the book, and help you getting organized. So when you got the book, you walking in it
Exactly.
ready, because the email are giving you preparation to get into the book, because there's so many things you get in and you be like, bye now, bam, bam. Everything's so quick that you on to the next after that. But this email helps you go through transformation properly with a little bit of nurture, and now let's go.
Absolutely. Absolutely. This is exciting. All
Mhm.
right. So now let's get you to the table. So number one, purchase. Get immediate access. Number two, you're gonna download. It's an ebook, guys. It's an ebook. So you're gonna be able to download it and review the blueprint. And then number three, create and generate your letter of intent. So we've already showed you how to go to Zillow, and you can literally find the phone number of the person right here on the spot.
Mhm.
Okay. So you don't have to guess what their phone number is. Right here, you'll be able to find the owner's phone number.
Yep.
Okay. And then
But you
I
would
just
see
talked
the
about that
emails,
before.
because this right
So
here, I thought about that. I said, now I want them to get a series helping them, just taking like a small pieces
mm-hmm,
that help them prepare. Like, do you have phone? It just giving you little information
to be able to digest,
to
yeah.
digest, and then now you got the book. Boom, you in there. You already moving and grooving, and then you would download it and you would generate, and you would just, once you start reaching out, you'll see it's simple, because you just go, hey, I see your house on Zillow. Where can I email my information to? Just simple, just simple.
Perfect, 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 perfect. All right. And so now you gotta say how much is the blueprint. So the blueprint original price is $297, but we will let you all in tonight because you all did attend this webinar live. If you are watching the recording, it is $297. But for those that are on this webinar live with us tonight, you get the complete blueprint for $97. Again, it entails the step-by-step process. You get the AI template, and you get the email series with the the email series is going to be your daily support. So
to help with the transformation. And then from there, you decide if you need real estate agent help, because you might want to delegate some of the process. You get what I'm saying? And so it's best to have a playbook so you can say, I know the process, but I don't want to do this. I do want to do that. But then, see, a lot of regular real estate agents is not going to do an off market property.
Yeah.
So this is why we feel like it was fair to create this, is that we not holding you hostage to the bank and MLS.
Yeah. Because when we do these transactions for people, our minimum fee is 7,000.
Yeah, 3%.
Yeah, and so that's to tie in the deal for our clients or whatever. But this is something that we decided to do. This is the first time we ever done this. But just hey, let's give people the blueprint. Let's give it to them, and then if it's something that you guys need more help with, then that's something that
Well, that option is at the bottom in
the
there.
blueprint
If
book.
you need, say, hey, I want to schedule a call. Because see, again, this is about precision. You got to think and move with all of this AI stuff. So even when you set the appointment, is asking the right questions first, so that when we call you, we done already did the work. So it's not these long calls anymore, because these questions, we take them, we done all of the work. So when we on the phone, we like, hey, Monique, hey, Joseph, bam, we right there. We could be done in 10, 15 minutes with doing that research and having it ready for you to progress with what you do, so that, again, you don't have to lock in, because with these new laws, you would have to literally get an agency with a real estate agent first before they start showing you houses. So that's why I was like, you know what? We can.
And y'all know with the NAR, with the lawsuit and everything, like realtors, we really have to be like upfront, like, yeah,
you got to sign this agency
agreement. You got to sign this agency agreement. This is how much it's going to cost, and some are actually charging up front before they even show you a house or sell you a house. So that's something to think about just as well. But again, we're just trying to put the ball in your court and allow you to be able to do this on your own. You know what I'm saying? Like but you gotta first crawl before you can walk. And so you get in there and you learn, you read the blueprint, and you learn and understand what is a letter of intent. How do I submit a letter of intent? What do I put in my letter of intent? Who do I, present my letter of intent to? You learn these things, and as you learn these things, you grow, and you start thinking outside the box.
We got Joe, great, sign me up. That's what I'm talking about. Now this we're gonna grow together, but it takes transformation.
Yeah.
Because your needs gonna change. Your needs gonna change with a different understanding, because now you see different. You like, oh yeah, I want to do this. And sometime, hey, if it happened to you like it happened to me, you'll scale up real quick.
Absolutely. So don't look at it like, oh, this is $97. It can't be, worth much. We gave you exactly what you're about to get in this blueprint, except for in the blueprint, of course, we have time to break it down. So, it's all broken down for you. And, we want you all to not just buy the course and sit it down somewhere. And as I say, lay down and go to sleep on it.
Oh yeah, I love that.
We want you to actually implement this stuff, and have questions. And we show you, in the blueprint how to get in contact with us if you do, need further assistance. But don't sleep on this opportunity, guys. This right here is not just for you to purchase a home for yourself, but also I want you to see the bigger picture. You can actually make money doing this. This has been awesome. I hope and pray that everybody have learned something. I hope that we have enlightened you, if you didn't already know, like I mean, I know everybody heard of owner financing, but to really, really know what it really is and how it works and how you could be a part of something like that. I hope that's what you've gotten tonight, because that was truly our goal. And even if you take this information and you go and Google and you go to GPT and all of these other places to learn this on your own, and it takes you a year or two, and you conquer your first deal, we're still satisfied
I'm
with
happy
that. We're
because we
happy.
taught you the foundation. You got the
Absolutely.
foundation which builds a strong house. Okay.
But for those of you that want the blueprint and you want to skip past all of that learning curve, hey, you have your blueprint right here for 97, and we're gonna go ahead and
Oh,
Monique
fabulous.
drop the gems.
Well,
Yes, absolutely, absolutely. Thank you, Monique. So Joseph, we will get that
mhm.
information out to you on how you can sign up and get started with the blueprint. If anybody else wants the blueprint, if you can just text that phone number that sent you the link, the word blueprint to that phone number that already been texting you. And guys, we really, really appreciate y'all more than you know. Listen, pat yourselves on the back for
Homeowners.
even deciding to hop on a webinar like this, to even open your mind up to an opportunity such as this.